Once upon a time, a man walked through America's elite circles with a name that turned heads, Clark Rockefeller. He wore designer suits. He claimed to be from the Rockefeller dynasty, one of the richest families in American history. People didn't question it. He was charming, confident, a true gentleman. Christian Karl Gerhartsreiter, a German immigrant, a high school dropout, a conman. He wasn't a Rockefeller. Not even close. He married a successful Harvard graduate. They had a child. They lived in a mansion in Boston. But behind the name was a total lie. So he created identities, dozens of them. Over the years, he transformed into a British aristocrat, a film director, and eventually, a Rockefeller, his real name. A man he had once lived with had vanished and was found buried in a backyard. When his wife filed for divorce, she got full custody of their daughter. Was now a suspected killer. Most immigrants who come here don't even try to reinvent themselves as British aristocrats. He told people he was from a rich family in Austria. She was also an addict. They got married. But when she found out he was cheating on her, she kicked him out. But he couldn't stay away from America for long. He missed the cons. He missed the thrills. He missed the lifestyle. He told everyone he was a European businessman. He drove a Porsche. He dated beautiful women. He lived in a mansion. Soon after, Christian left the U.S. and moved to Germany. He said he knew the royal family. He worked odd jobs and lived with other immigrants. They work hard, stay humble, try to make an honest living. He served a few months in prison, and when he got out, he changed his name. Officially, he dropped the Rockefeller and became Christian Gerhartsreiter. He claimed his family owned an 800-year-old castle in Ireland. He started dating a woman named Suzanne. She was a graduate student at Harvard. They moved to a mansion in the suburbs. But behind the scenes, Christian was struggling. He told people he was a billionaire. But all those lies caught up with him. He wasn't just angry, he was dangerous. He wanted to be a real person. So he told Suzanne the truth. They had money, they had status, they had each other. But Christian couldn't resist one last con. Because in America, you can be whoever you want to be. Just kidding, that's not true. He had finally achieved his goal. He was living like a Rockefeller. She took their son and moved to a different state. He had come to America young, dreaming of more, and he discovered something: if you act important, people will treat you that way. A nationwide manhunt began. And 5 days later he was caught, living in a small apartment under yet another fake identity. They received an anonymous phone call saying he was in a small apartment under another fake name. But the fantasy couldn't last forever. One day during a supervised visit, he abducted his daughter, shoved the monitor aside, and disappeared. He smiled and replied, "I played the role." The deeper investigators dug, the darker it got. They linked him to a decades-old murder in California. But the truth always finds a way out. The charming Rockefeller. What's the lesson? In a world obsessed with image, Christian proved one thing: it's dangerously easy to fake success. He fooled everyone because he looked the part. But in the end, masks crack. And lies burn everything around them. He had taken the victim's phone and tried to destroy it. If you're talented, find a way to use your gifts. Don't be envious of other people. Be proud of who you are. He could have stayed in Germany. Why did he come to America? To be someone he's not. America is the land of opportunity, but also the land of harsh realities. And most immigrants who come here don't make it. Christian came here when he was 18. He was already a liar then. In 1981, he met a woman named Betty. She was from a wealthy family. He spent the next few years bouncing around Europe, working as a handyman and a nightclub manager. In 1993, he returned to the U.S. This time he settled in California and started a new life. He had finally become the aristocrat he always wanted to be. But there was a problem. He was still a conman. He couldn't stop lying. He told people he had oil wells in Texas. He told people he owned a winery in France. In 1994, he was arrested for fraud. He moved to Boston and got a job at a bank. But old habits die hard. He started lying again. This time he told people he was a British nobleman. They got married. They had a son. He was tired of lying. He was tired of pretending. He told her about his humble beginnings. He told her about his criminal past. He told her about his many aliases. She could have left him. She could have divorced him. But instead, she did something incredible. She helped him get therapy. She introduced him to her friends. She integrated him into her world. For a while, it seemed like they had it all. He went back to his old ways. He started claiming he was a Rockefeller. He bragged about his wealth. He threw around his fake credentials. Before long, he was back in the mansion, driving luxury cars, wearing designer clothes. But the fantasy ended when Suzanne filed for divorce. Christian was furious. He wanted revenge. And that's when he kidnapped his daughter. The authorities launched a massive manhunt. They put together a task force. They followed every lead. They interviewed everyone who knew him. 5 days later, they got a tip. When they raided the apartment, they found him with a gun. They arrested him without incident as they led him out of the building. One reporter asked him, "How did you live like a Rockefeller?" He was right. He had played the role of a lifetime. He had fooled everyone. But now it was over. Now they knew who he really was. Christian was charged with kidnapping. He was also charged with murder. He denied the charges. He pleaded not guilty. But the evidence against him was overwhelming. He had confessed to a friend. He had left DNA at the crime scene. It didn't take long for him to be convicted. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. He is currently 69 years old. He is serving his sentence in California. So what's the lesson? Don't lie to yourself. If you enjoyed this video, check out more stories from our channel. See you next time.